Hello everyone, this is Angela. Welcome to Planning and Creating. Today I am going to do a flip through of my 2022 reading journal, and I will do a flip through of my 2023 reading journal. So if you like content like this, sit back and relax, and here we go. So for 2022, my reading journal, I actually used the beginning pages of my bullet journal. So this is a B5 size journal from Notebook Therapy. It's well loved. It has the gold gilded edges, and it has two bookmarks. Lovely embossed gold image on the front with the bunny, and you can see on the back it also has an elastic band. So when you open this up, you'll see my title page, my name, and under here was my email address, just in case I lost this journal while I was carrying it around. I tipped in a piece of acetate that I could put sticky notes on, and this is just one of those adhesive pockets for me to stick stickers in or whatever I decided. Turning the page, I have a quote page with a pocket. We have image here that I just found online, and then I titled this reading journal. But this actually 2022 is the title for the entire journal. This is a daily reading challenge tracker that I listed on this page. So down the side here, left side, I have all of the days of the month. And then across the top, I have all of the months listed. And the plan for this was to color in every day that I read. However, I did not keep up with this. This is real life. It's not 100% accurate. Some days I just fell off and just didn't fill in what I read, even though I did read. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently for 2023, and you'll see that when I get to that journal. Turning the page, we have my bookshelfie. So this is the list of books that I read, and no particular, well, I think they're pretty close to the order, although some of the books drawn on here are bigger than others, so I had to use the size of the book that would fit the title. So I did do this a little differently for 2023. This is just an image that I found online, and I drew and copied and colored in. This is a list of books that I read for 2022. And here I have the title, the date I finished it, the author, my star rating, and then the same thing on the second page. I am going to do this a little differently for 2023, and we'll get to that when I flip through that journal. This page here, I really like how I did this. This is another image that I found, a book stack, and I just trimmed the page to fit the edges of the book. And this is my A to Z challenge. So here I list all of the books from the letters A to Z that I've read. We still have about a week and a half left in December, so I still have time to read those 3 letters that I have left. I have Q, X, and Z, but we will see. So this year I did it by book title. I may do that by author next year. I haven't quite decided yet. So on the right-hand page here, we have our monthly review for 2022. And what I did on this page, in each box, I listed my favorite book of that month. December's not done. I'll probably wait to just end of December or maybe January to fill in this. And then at the end, I'll list what my favorite book of the year was. Turning the page, this is drawing of an open book laid out, and I listed 5-star reads. Probably have a few more on there. I'll have to go back to that previous page to fill that in 100%. This is my TBR. Did the same thing here with another book image. I just trimmed it down so that it matches kind of the edges of the book. This is a book. This is a long list of recommendations that I found online, or people told me, or books I heard about, as well as books that I personally decided I wanted to read. This list is so long, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to do this the same for 2023. This is my book bingo page. Here I just X'd out the criteria, and I know I've read that. Cross that out as we go. And that's pretty much self-explanatory here. Page count, I'm not going to do this in my 2023 reading journal because I read so many books on Audible. I really didn't want to have to go through and count how many pages total for each month. So that is something that I'm not bringing over to my 2023 reading journal. These 3 books at the bottom are actually from December of 2021. I set this up in December, and the 3 towards mid-December of last year, and I did read 3 books at the end of December, so I wrote them down there instead of on the bookshelf. So this page is my index for my bullet journal, and that ends the 2022 bullet journal flip. I'm going to show you what I've set up for 2023. So for 2023, I have another V5 journal from Notebook Therapy. I bought this a year ago. This is the Lunar Notes. It has silver foil on the front cover, on the spine. It has 2 silver bookmarks, and it's got golden gilded edges. Oh, it's so pretty. It also has an elastic pocket. It has an elastic strap. It has the pocket in the back, and Notebook Therapy journals always come with a bookmark. So this is the golden bookmark that came with this journal. So I'm just going to tuck it back in there. These pages are 160 GSM. I think this one may have 196 pages. I am not 100% on that, so don't quote me. But I anticipate this lasting for several years. To complete the pages in this journal, I used primary colors from Crayola Super Tips. I also used this Artist Loft blush pen. Even though I have a Tombow Budonesque, this one actually works pretty good. So this is something you can pick up from Michaels. And I used a Sharpie pen fine liner to do some of the teeny tiny writing in this journal. So we'll get right on into it, and I'll open her up. So this is my title page. I think I'm going to put a pocket here and maybe a grid spacing guide. I haven't decided if that's something I'll actually use. This will be my 4th year bullet journaling, and I've never used a grid spacing guide, so I'm not sure if that's something I even want to create. So anyway, this is my title page and reading journal for 2023, and I think I'm going to put a hyphen. I do not anticipate filling this up for the entire year. I'm thinking I will just use this for several years. Since I've been hoarding this notebook for a year, I thought this would be a great purpose for it. So this is my title page. Moving on, this is that weird page that kind of sticks funny. I might put some art here. I haven't decided, but I kind of like it plain. Here I did a cutout with 2023 just so we know what year we're starting. And I have a quote page, and the quote says, "Once you learn how to read, you will forever be free." And this is a quote from Frederick Douglass. Turn the page. Notice this is a very smaller 1-page TBR. I think I might divide this and list books I'm interested in reading, and then I might put recommendations on the other side. Haven't quite decided yet, but that's what my thought is at this point. Reading goals, I just used a stencil and filled in some goals for next year. I read 65 books, read a book that's written by sibling authors, read a Newbery Award winning, a Black author, a beach read, a travel story, a finance book, love story, library book off my own shelf. I have that 3 times because I have several books here that I need to read. I actually have library book written twice, 20 Audible books, a Kindle book, a YouTube book, because sometimes you can find free audiobooks on YouTube. A book that's out of my comfort zone, motivational, and a series. And I still have some space down here at the bottom if I think of anything else I want to try to accomplish for 2023. So for this page here, I did create tabs. So see, this says goals here. We move to this next page. We have my A to Z challenge. So I've listed the alphabet down this way. And probably what I will do is do A to Z by author instead of book title. I think that might make it a little bit easier to complete. Plenty of room for that. on this page on the right, we have our monthly review. In each monthly box that I have here, I will list my favorite book of that month. And then at the bottom here, I'll list my favorite for the year of this, and in probably December or January. So this has a tab here, and it says A to Z monthly review. We switch over, and then we have my bookshelfie. So on this bookshelfie, I have 65 spaces, I think, for books. And then we have these drawers at the bottom. This is an image or design that I got from Elena Stevens. She has a channel here on YouTube, and her 2023 reading journal flip, I think this was in her 2022 journal. It's very similar. She had rainbows and she had the drawers at the bottom. Really was interested in doing something similar to hers because this journal is B5. I have longer spaces here, so that will make it a lot easier to fit the book titles on. And if I happen to read more than 65 books, I can always convert these drawers into Dutch doors and then have more space to write more books. So that is the thought behind that. But you might check out Elena Stevens on YouTube, and she had some really cool, unique designs on her channel. Turning the page, we have our Reading the Rainbow. This is a new challenge that I've heard about. You can see my mistake up here on this page. My bookshelfie, when I colored in, I got a little tired and decided to use a black permanent marker. Well, it did bleed through. So I might take a piece of paper from the back of the journal and cover that in, but for right now I'm okay with the whiteout. So anyway, I will look for a book that has whatever color the cover of the book jacket is. Like if it has a yellow book cover, then I will print out a cover for that color and put it in these little squares. This is a daily reading channel challenge. I decided to do it differently this year. So down this side of the table, you have the month, and going across here, you have the day. So it's only a teeny tiny square that you have to color in for each day. So it's similar to like a year in pixels. Very similar to a lot of habit trackers that people use, but I think this one would be a little bit easier to fill out. I have room here for another channel challenge should I desire to do one. I'm not sure. But so far, I think this is enough. This page, I will list all of the books that I've read. Here I have a number for what number book it is, the title, author, the rating, and again, same for this page, the number, title, author, and rating. One of the things that kind of drove me crazy with the way I listed the books read for my 2022, didn't number them. So when I go through and count, I have to go through and count each one. You see at the bottom here, I wrote a number 40 because there's 40 on this page. And then I started counting on that page. So to avoid that, I added just a teeny tiny column where I can place the number. And that is it for the What Did I Read page. Only thing I regret is I didn't put the title of What Did I Read? But that leaves me more room to write books, so we'll see. This page here, I got this idea from Little Journals on YouTube. What she does in her journal is for each month, she'll list down the day she started reading the book and the title, and she'll draw lines through the calendar to indicate how many days it took her to read that book. So I thought that'd be kind of a cool tracker. At the bottom, I might just list the books that I read that month. I already set this up for February. I might color this in. I haven't decided yet. And so for January, what I'm thinking about doing is printing out book covers and then making notes about actually journaling about each book. As you can see, I have plenty of pages left. So I anticipate this lasting definitely more than 1 year. But that's kind of what I have set up for my 2023 reading journal. So I'll just do a quick flip through so you can see all of the pages. Well, thank you for joining me as I did my flip through of my 2022 reading journal and presented my 2023 reading journal. Let me know in the comments, do you do a reading journal? Are you planning on setting up a separate one? Or are you planning to do what I did in 2022 where I used pages in the front of my bullet journal as a section for my reading journal? So let me know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of content. If so, feel free to like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and thank you for spending time with me. Bye-bye.